Hey, just yesterday, the Arrowhead Chief Creative Officer responded to questions about the fast recon vehicle, specifically about fixing an issue, talks about a repair tool. Not only that, he's also excited to take a look at reintroducing more vehicles. We've got a new major order, and there's so much more I'll be going over. If you would like to support the channel, please hit the like button below by tapping the thumbs up button at any point, subscribe, and turn on notifications. First off, what I'd like to bring up in today's video is that it seems that a lot of Helldivers have not received the free Killzone 2 items. We do have an answer from the support team about what's going on. We have the proof right here, and the support team member B Vitamin posted this in the official Helldivers 2 Discord. The free page 2 Killzone stuff should have been sent to all active accounts. If you didn't get it, the most likely case, one of the two things, your account was inactive. If you haven't launched Helldivers 2 in a couple of months, the system didn't give it out to accounts which were inactive at the moment the items were dispatched. So if you haven't played for a while but logged in after you heard that we were giving it away, that would likely be why you didn't receive anything. It also isn't given to new accounts who signed up after it was sent out. The system gave it to all current, active accounts, similar to how major order payouts work. I don't know if they want to change that or not yet. There was some talk, but it's end of the day Friday, so I won't know more until Monday at the earliest. If this has happened to you recently, then just know you're not alone at all. Unfortunately, it's the weekend, so there's not much they can do at the moment. However, once I see any news about this, I'll be sure to update you on exactly what's going on and if they're able to hand it out to new players and returning players. With that said, the Chief Creative Officer, Mr. Pillistead, had responded to an issue that's going on with the fast recon vehicle. There's an issue with the map and trying to ping something on the map while driving. For instance, a player on Reddit brought up that when you're moving around on the map with the D-pad buttons, you can actually sting yourself when you didn't mean to. I'm sure you all have noticed it as well, but besides that, I've also noticed I will accidentally ping a spot on the map when trying to zoom in. Anyway, the Chief Creative Officer responded back with, "Agreed, the system for swallowing inputs is really bad, and we constantly forget the map thing. It will get sorted." That's awesome to know that it will be fixed eventually. Of course, Christmas is coming up very soon, and I'd suspect that will be patched next year or next month to be exact. Nonetheless, it's a common bug as of right now and expect that to be resolved soon enough. Also, the Chief Creative Officer and developers could possibly be thinking about a repair tool for the fast recon vehicle. It's not been confirmed yet that it's going to happen. However, there's a post that a Helldiver created talking about the FRV, and towards the very bottom, this person essentially asks for a repair tool. And Pillistead basically replied back to that member saying, +1 to repair tool or similar. Perhaps if that's something on their list, I think that would be a great thing to have in game, as well as a way to repair not only the fast recon vehicle, but the exosuit mechs as well. Now, besides the mechs, what I'd like to see is a way to repair the tires on the FRV, so that way, if a tire pops, I can always hop out and repair it. Or if we cannot get a repair tool, perhaps a garage point of interest on the map that will allow you to repair it once you drive it inside. Either way, I believe this is something we definitely need to see in game. How do you feel about a repair tool? Do you want a feature like that, or would you prefer something different? Not only did he respond to that post, it seems we will be receiving more vehicles in the future. There's a comment on the Helldivers 2 Reddit page where a player brought up how this summer for Arrowhead was not good for them. And Pillistead replied back talking about how he's looking forward to adding more vehicles and vehicle features. The post is right here, and he said, "Of course, the summer fiasco was misalignment at the studio of what game we were making. The 60-day patch was a return to form. The game is about having a good time with friends, not esports. I am looking forward to future updates where we get to explore other vehicles and vehicle mechanics. Excited to see what the HD1 roster of vehicles will look like in HD2. You know what? I love how he mentioned Helldivers 1 vehicles. For those out there that have played the very first Helldivers game, can you imagine the devs reintroducing the MC109 Hammer motorcycle, M5 APC, or even the M532 HAP? Hell, if they didn't add those ones specifically, I would be perfectly okay with any new ideas that they do have. Speaking of new vehicles, I know for a fact there were questions about vehicles that can fly, yet that won't happen from what I can recall. For instance, you can see a question here from about 4 months ago. Player asked Pillistead if they have any plans to add flying vehicles, and his response at the time was, "I promised the tech lead we would never. A lot of assumptions have been made on that." Yeah, so if you are wishing for flyable vehicles, That's definitely not going to happen. However, who knows? They could change their plans and hire a co-developer from another studio to help out with that. Personally, I'd like to have a vehicle like Campfly, but I don't think it's necessary, and I'm perfectly okay with ground vehicles. Lastly, there's a question from a player that wanted to know if it's possible that they'll add a feature where we can extract with weapons that have better stats. Sadly, it looks like that won't happen. It does sound like a very cool idea. Nonetheless, the proof is right here, and Pilstead responded back with, "We've spoken about it a couple of times. It's not high up on our priority list, though, and it does create some problems with memory budgets, etc." Well, from that response, it seems that it's a topic that the Arrowhead team have discussed a few times, and it's a great idea. It just sucks that it's not high on their priority list, although it's not a big deal, right? I'd like to be able to find a unique weapon on the battlefield and extract with them. For example, it would be amazing to pick up a unique weapon from General Brash's inventory, or a special stratagem that he left behind, something like that. Next up, I was asked just recently about the gold magazines that have been popping up for a small percentage of players, and there's been a lot of assumptions that it's due to the developers testing out weapon customizations. The fact is, that's not true at all, and it's actually a bug that's been going around for ages now, I believe since Helldivers 2 first launched. So if you have seen a post like this right here, it's nothing to be excited about. It's just a texture bug that can be fixed if you verify your Helldivers 2 files on Steam. Although it does look pretty cool. Speaking of weapon customization, I recommend you check out my previous video from yesterday. There's some good news about custom weapons, and it's worth watching after you're done with this video. Let's now put aside the Arrowhead team's response to questions. We now have to discuss the black hole and the new Mage Order. First, starting off with the black hole, it looks like it's our fault as to why the Illuminate have popped up once again. If we didn't inject the dark fluid into Meridia's planetary crust a while ago, the Illuminate would never have been able to make a reappearance. But then again, if we didn't do that, there would be more issues with the Terminate super colony. Essentially, we were screwed either way. The recent Mage Order briefing message lets us know that the black hole is not just a black hole, and there's a connection between the Illuminate and this singularity. If you're not near your computer or console, I'm going to briefly go over the paragraphs here. For example, right here in the middle it says, "Dark fluid was an exotic substance found on Illuminate worlds at the end of the First Galactic War. These recent changes to the Meridian singularity, so shortly following the reappearance of the Illuminate, may indicate a deeper connection. The Meridian singularity may be no ordinary black hole, as many government experts have long suspected. These developments demand further investigation. High Command has ordered the construction of a new center of science on Fenrir 3. The Helldivers must clear the planet and nearby area of any terminate infestation in order to facilitate its safe construction." Yep, my theory is still the same as it was months ago. Instead of it being just a black hole, what if the singularity at Meridia is actually a wormhole? What we've been calling a black hole, in reality, is a gateway, a wormhole that the Illuminate have traveled through from an alternate universe. If it's true, then they could be from an alternate universe where we could have possibly failed at defending Super Earth, and we ultimately ended up dying because of the Illuminate threat. Unfortunately, if that's the case, we brought them from a different timeline, and they're now here in this universe, so they might have an advantage. So I'd like to know what you think about this theory and whether or not you think differently. I'd love to know your theories about what's happening here and what you believe happened. This way, once we know the truth, we can see whose theory was right or wrong. It'll be fun to see. On a completely different note, we do know that the whole aiming situation right now, where your gun kind of sort of lags when it's moved around, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, that will be fixed possibly in the next patch or relatively soon. We can see a post right here by B Vitamin that responded to a player that talked a little bit about it, and she wrote, "We know the cause and we'll fix it, maybe next patch, but I'm not sure when that is yet." So there you go. If you're annoyed about it as of late, then just know the developers know how to fix it. We just have to wait for the patch, whenever that is. Maybe it's next Tuesday, maybe it's next month, who knows, but as of right now, they do know what's going on with it, they know how to fix it, so just wait for that patch, and it should be resolved. We're now going to discuss your suggested loadout from the previous video. As always, if you have already posted one prior, then post the comment again, and I might just select it for the next video. What we have today is a loadout called Jack of All Trades, Master of One by ManGuy01. We have the brand new siege armor for increased primary ammo. The primary, by the way, is the Adjudicator with semi-auto. It's incredibly good when inflicting damage to overseers, exceptionally fast by the way. The secondary is the good old grenade pistol for blowing up warp ships on the ground and two-shotting overseers. We also have a gas grenade for voltless enemies as well as overseers. It's great for confusing them and running away if you need to. Next, the stratagems we have are the recoilless rifle, great for destroying ships on ground, as well as harvesters. The orbital gas strike for confusing and dazing enemies, the laser orbital for destroying just about everything, including harvesters. And lastly, the flame sentry to hold your ground just in case you're ganged up on or if you need to defend a certain objective. Overall, this is another amazing loadout that I recommend you try out as soon as you can to see how you all feel about it. It's a 5 out of 5 general browse stars, and I have no complaints about it. With all the information being said, this is your Helldivers 2 news. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below, and if you get enough upvotes, you might just be featured. The first top comment is from dbase9544. It's funny that they met with the Deep Rock devs. They do the live service perfectly. All of their DLC is just cosmetics and support the devs sort of thing. Seriously gives us a funny cape and a tile and people will pay for it if it's cosmetic only. Yeah, I would be perfectly okay with that if they did do that. I don't think we necessarily need a Deep Rock galactic weapon, although that does sound pretty cool, it honestly does. But I would be perfectly okay with just a cape and a title. The second top comment is by Paranoid Carrot. If the 100 SC packs appear more in 710 difficulties, it would be awesome. I definitely feel the same way, and we'll see how that goes next year because they did talk about that in the previous video, how they're going to buff the super credits, or they're going to do something to adjust it, which is going to be really interesting to see what it is. Last but not least, we have Brandon Jew 1397. I hope I can upgrade my Constitution rifle. Needs more bayonets on it. You know what? I believe it was either you or someone else that commented it would be cool to be able to shoot bayonets. That sounds pretty interesting, and I would love to see it. So those are the top 3 comments. I appreciate everyone who left a comment previously, checked out the video. It means a lot to me, especially those that, left a heartfelt message about what I left at the end. Yeah, you guys are awesome for that. And if you haven't done so, subscribe, turn on notifications, and give this video a like. I say it all the time at the end of the video because I know a lot of you are not subscribed. You're just lurking and whatnot. But make sure you subscribe, click it, it's free, it's not going to charge you. Although you can become a member if that's something you wish. Anyways, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.